turnout. I know everybody has very busy schedules, and to have so many people here tonight to be able to discuss all of this, of what we plan for downtown and what people would like to see in downtown. I can't thank you enough for participating in this and being part of this. I'm just doing a quick introduction to say hello. Thank you to Urban Barry and Urban Design Associates for being part of this process in the town of Riverhead. I'm going to turn it over to Catherine Kent. She's my deputy supervisor and also the liaison for the Downtown Revitalization Committee. The committee was formed about a year and a half ago, and one of their big charges has been to take a look at our downtown and figure out, for the past 15 years, we've had such a struggle to be able to revitalize our downtown, and how could we move this forward. And this has been a group that has worked hard and diligently. There's stakeholders from all aspects of our community that have had a voice in that, and together they have come up with the notion of doing this pattern book to help take us from where we are right now to where we want to be. So this is such a vital event to be able to do this, so I'm going to turn this over to Catherine to be able to explain more and to introduce this evening. I also want to recognize Jody Giglio for being here with us tonight. So once again, thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you being here and taking out time from your day. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I really am very pleased that you all took time out of your day to come here and invest in our downtown area. I do want to just recognize we have some of the Downtown Revitalization Committee here. They are the ones that put forward the idea to hire a pattern book company. If they would just stand or wave, we've got a few of them here around. They have actually put in countless hours on this. So, as you know, Riverhead has hired Urban Design Associates to work with us to assist us in planning our downtown area. UDA was founded in 1964. It's an international urban design practice headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. UDA was founded with the belief that planners, architects, engineers, economists, elected officials, developers, investors, and citizens are all associates in urban design. A quote from one of their founders is, "Listen, the cities, their people, their heritage, their future will speak." UDA has done projects from Moscow to Seattle and London to Norfolk, and now Riverhead. I'm going to turn things over to Barry Long, who is President and CEO of UDA. Barry earned a Bachelor and Master's of Architecture degrees from Montana State University. He's a member of Urban Land Institute and the Pennsylvania Society of Architects and the Congress of New Urbanism, to name a few. Barry has already been studying our town and has met with countless stakeholder groups. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Barry. I also wanted to recognize, forgive me that I forgot, Jefferson Murphy is here. He's the head of our planning department.
Hello. So, I just want to welcome you all here tonight, and I'm looking forward to hearing your input. I know this was an endeavor that was set out by Catherine Kent and the Downtown Revitalization Committee, and public officials should always be welcome to discussion from the public. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Supervisor and Councilwomen, and for all the residents who came out tonight. We're very appreciative of your time. So, I am Barry Long. I'm a principal with Urban Design Associates. I'm actually also, I live in Pennsylvania, but I'm from New York originally, so this is a kind of a homecoming. So what are we going to do tonight? We're going to primarily be listening to you. And the folks with the blue buttons that say, "I'm here to listen," are going to be facilitating that discussion. And then we're going to form small groups, and we're going to have you report back out to the main group, because this is a transparent and open process, and we want to hear from everybody. That's the big picture. But to give you an overview of what a pattern book is, I have about a 10-minute presentation. In future community meetings, we're going to be going through recommendations, and the presentations will be longer, and we'll be asking for feedback in a little bit different format. But tonight, we're really here to listen to you. So the agenda is, first, to explain the study area boundary, so everybody knows where that is. Some folks have maps on their tables, but everybody is going to be gathered around maps when we start our breakout sessions. Then I'm going to give you an overview of the process and our timeline that we're going to go through. What is a pattern book? We're going to explain that. And then we'll be doing breakout sessions for, probably with this size group, maybe 30 to 45 minutes, something in that range. And then we'll be reporting out. We want to leave the groups enough time to report out. So we will call time a few minutes before time is up so that everybody has a voice. And again, the facilitators will be wearing the blue buttons. So the study area. The study area is generally defined as what's called the DC1 area in your zoning ordinance. That stands for Downtown Commercial 1. But it also includes, which is generally defined from the Hyatt just past Peconic Avenue and Roanoke here, and this is Main Street in the Peconic River. And then it goes more or less from East 2nd Street down to the river, but it doesn't go all the way across East 2nd. But it does pick up quite a few of the historic homes which are not in the Downtown Commercial 1 zone. We could get into why that's the boundary, but that's the boundary we were given, so just so you know where that came from. If you have comments that are outside that area to talk about to us tonight, that's fine. We're not asking you just to color within the lines. We like to color outside the lines, but for the pattern book, that is the focus. So the planning process that we're going through is in 3 steps. And the first part is about listening, because we know that you're experts in your community, much more so than we could ever be. So our process has always been to listen to stakeholders and the residents first. So we're back for a second set of stakeholder meetings already. We came when the weather was a little warmer and a little better, and photographed the study area and began to meet with the town and with committees and department heads. But tonight we're back, and this week we're back to finish our stakeholder meetings and have our first community meeting to solicit resident input. We know not everybody can attend these meetings, so we're also going to be doing an online survey. And based on what we hear from you tonight, that's probably going to inform exactly how we do that survey and how we ask questions and what we show. Step 2 is exploring ideas. We'll be having follow-up meetings with stakeholders as recommendations begin to emerge. And we're going to have a second community meeting. This will probably be in late January or early February. We'll try to pick the worst weather day of the year. You know how that works. We'll pick what looks like a clear day, and there'll be 2 feet of snow. And then we'll be doing a second online survey. Just because you come to these meetings doesn't mean that you won't be welcome to participate in the survey, and that's going to be done from the town's website. So more information will be advertised about how to participate, but it's going to go through the town's website. And then the third step will be deciding, which will be a presentation of the pattern book and feedback from stakeholders and residents. The goal is to be done in the first quarter of 2020. Can't believe it's almost 2020, but after the holiday season, it is going to be 2020. So by the end of March, our objective is to be done. There's a 4th step, which will be done by the town of Riverhead, which is to develop a form-based code. So a form-based code is something that sits on top of your zoning, in this case your downtown zoning, and it may modify the zoning a little bit, but not change it in fundamental ways. And the important difference between the zoning you have, which is kind of 2-dimensional and words, and a form-based code is 3-dimensional, so that we can begin to understand as lay people what we're talking about. But that's something that the town will be doing, and it's the regulatory piece that goes with the pattern book. This is not the only planning process. There's 3 planning processes that are going on simultaneously. This will be confusing. The second one is for the transit area. If you can go back to the map, Rebecca. Up by the railroad station, there's a transit-oriented development study that another firm is doing. We're coordinating with them, and these two studies will fit together like puzzle pieces. And the other thing that's being done is a comprehensive plan update for the entire town. Folks have already asked us, will you be coordinating? Yes, we will. That consultant's contract says that our work and our work with the residents will fit right into the comprehensive plan, and then they'll analyze the impacts. So all of these studies are set up, the town has it set up so they'll be coordinated, but there are 3 studies going on, and there's, just to confuse you, 3 different firms doing them. I think that's it for studies. There may be
So far.
others, but so far that's it for studies. You can go ahead. So what is a pattern book? The Downtown Riverhead Pattern Book will guide the development of future community character for the Main Street area. And there's some key principles behind this. It's community driven, it's based on resident involvement, and it's locally controlled. And you can see here the town of Riverhead is the lead. We at UDA are developing the pattern book in support of the town. We're not bringing our ideas and telling you what you should do. We're listening to residents and stakeholders and facilitating your ideas to develop the pattern book. And then supporting organizations through these individual stakeholder meetings and community meetings are going to feed into the pattern book. So this is the way we typically work. We're here to facilitate your ideas. We're not here to impose our will on you. So what are the elements of a pattern book? The things that we're going to be looking at is first what we call the public realm, which is streets, parks. There's an idea for a town square in the downtown area, which hasn't been realized yet. Passages and alleys and so on, things related to the public realm. We'll also be looking at the private realm, which is building scale, massing, height, setbacks, materials, use, and possibly architectural style. So that has to do with the private development. If you think of, especially downtowns, they're like a stage set, where you have the public realm, which in a way belongs to all of us as citizens, but then you have the private realm, which really defines that, so acts like a stage set for the public realm. So these things have a direct relationship. And then we're also going to be looking separately at streetscapes, which is street furnishings, lighting, landscaping, anything that enhances the pedestrian experience and generally beautifies streets. We think of this like furnishing your house. You know, you can have a great empty house with a great yard, you know, your public realm and your private realm, but you still have to furnish it. And how you appoint it has a lot to do with how it feels. So it's important to break that out and think about that separately. So these are just examples so you can begin to visualize. You know, the public realm, and again, we use an example of a town square as one element of a public realm. In the private realm, we're going to be talking about the scale of buildings, and maybe this is an example of a 5-story building, maybe when there should be a step back, not necessarily a reduction in height, but how they should meet the street and inform it. And then the third thing is the streetscape, and we use this example in Greenport where you have a very narrow sidewalk, but they have the furniture zone next to the parking area which it's important to animate. You always have the pedestrian clear zone, and then you have the amenity area outside of shops, and you can see it's like a stage set. You know, no one may ever sit in these cafe chairs, but it helps to make the street scene be welcoming. So we're going to come up with a menu of possibilities. You can choose from the menu. This is going to be like going out to dinner. We're not going to tell you what to do, but we're going to feed ideas to you, and then you're going to help inform this by telling us what you would like to see. So this is your chance to think about the future. The exercise we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to be doing 2 things in about the next 35 to 45 minutes in breakout groups. And some people are standing, some people are sitting. We're going to get you all organized so everybody can participate around tables. I'll do that as soon as we finish up in just a minute. But first, we're going to go through these 4 questions. What are Downtown Riverhead's strengths? We want you to tell us. And the facilitators at the table will be taking notes. What are Downtown Riverhead's weaknesses? Again, we want you to tell us what the weaknesses are. What are the opportunities? You probably have envisioned things we haven't imagined. We need to know that. And what are the threats? An example of a threat would be something like the flooding, which is happening more often. That's a threat. That's beyond a weakness. That's something that we really need to consider. Hopefully we don't have too many threats, but make sure you tell us if it's a threat or if you consider it a weakness so we get it in the right column. What we're going to do after this meeting is we're going to take all your input and we're going to go back along with the stakeholder input and begin to do top 20 lists of each of these things. So we begin to understand what folks are talking about the most. And then we'll begin to address it in terms of guidelines in the pattern books. That's how this process works. And it's iterative. Like I said, we'll be back to share that with you. And you'll say, well, you mostly got it right, or you didn't get it right, or that looks good. And then we'll go back and we'll refine it again. And ultimately, it will become council's and the supervisor's responsibility to vote on these things. So there is a checks and balances, I guess, right? I don't know if we're the balances. I think you're the checks and we're the
balance.
Are we the balance? That table over there is the checks. And then also tonight we're going to do a report out after that. So we'd like we're going to break into about 8 groups. We'd like the groups to report out to the main group what each of you talked about so you can all hear. We don't want you not to know what your neighbors are saying. We're also going to have you place dots on a drawing. This is one we did recently for downtown Hershey, Pennsylvania, where the residents, you can see the coding. Green was strengths, red was weaknesses. I thought Hershey was paradise with all the chocolate, but I guess not. There's quite a bit of red. And then blue were opportunities, places that folks would like to see things happen. Downtown Hershey didn't have any threats. That's the good news. They're good to go. No river, no flooding. So they didn't identify any threats. And what we'll do is we'll composite all these maps together to create a portrait of your
The brewery, right? More than one, right? So. Okay.
Star Confectionery, that's almost on their 100th anniversary.
I heard that. But that's not what locals call it, right?
That's at the corner. Papa Nick's.
People kept correcting us, right?
The
when we started.
Cornerstone.
Well, yes, I think it is. We have very ample parking behind the campus. Behind the building. Behind the buildings. I mean, when we have major events in the river, it gets a little crazy to park, but they're really very well attended, those events. And then you have some of the buildings that have their own parking that aren't open, so they can use those. So, could we improve parking? You're going to get a lot more residents to live here, then you're going to have to improve parking.
Which I think with the apartments, I don't know what that's going to mean in terms of parking.
Like when that apartment opened up by Riverwalk,
But it's close enough that you can feel like you can go from side A to side B easily, rather than in something like Patchogue, it gets wider. It's more nerve-wracking to try to walk across and explore both sides of the road. This feels very clean, so I like that as an asset.
One of the things that I foresee, and I know I'm jumping out of place here, would be that it would have to be like Greenport has kind of raised their green so that it's above the water and not the water going.
I would say maybe the view. The view? The panorama. Right to river. But again, we write scenic view because they said, we can have duplicate ideas that might be written differently.
Yeah, the natural going kayaking over the
That's true, actually. It is pretty. It's beautiful. Sit, like here and look west.
Nobody's, the farmer's market I heard. You're pointing over at Grangeville Park, but no one actually mentioned it. Yeah. You did? I'm sorry.
river and water sports.
Atlantis does one.
It's cool.
I've never done
Go to like a little beach and check it out. Like, yeah, it's neat.
Hey, those cardboard races too.
Oh, the cardboard boat races. Okay, well, if we think of more strengths, we can add them, but now we're going to move on to the weaknesses. So, want to flip to the weakness news page?
How about challenges? I don't like weaknesses.
We'll just do minus, negatives. Weaknesses.
No supermarket.
No supermarket. So we heard no supermarket, parking, empty stores.
There is one little supermarket.
The Green Earth Grocer. Green Earth closed?
No, not Green Earth. The one that was on the corner. Near the shopping center, that closed a while ago. Parking.
No supermarket, parking, empty stores.
And the empty houses that are on here.
So the derelict house. So maybe in parentheses, right, East Ave, Maple, Union, those areas. Hi.
There's some empty ones and there's some derelict ones.
Yes, there are
Overcrowding. Overcrowded ones.
The issue of
Flooding.
Yeah.
Safety for some.
I mean, the river is a plus, an opportunity, right, and a minus. Or what was the last one that he said? Something that was like critical, or there were 4 categories. The threat. I think one of the weaknesses is the bad reputation.
I just hear one side of this, the story that's being played in my head by the news.
Right.
So that's my perception of it. And I'm thinking, this is really weird. Because truly, if I was in Brooklyn, I would say, oh yeah, big deal. Knock yourself out. Right.
One thing that we found,
It's weird. If you don't know, then you are scared.
Yeah, we were having dinner, I think in the Dark Horse, many times, but it was one time we started seeing the beat patrol walking up and down.
Yeah.
And we were finally like, wow, that's great. There's something here worth protecting. At least we've got some guys out there. And I don't recall exactly when that happened, but it was not exactly.
Public transportation.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what we do have is the stuff is bad.
If you're there at night and you're going to your car, I mean, it's well known that more crime happens in dark areas.
Right.
So if it was lit up more, I think it'd be more inviting.
That is the most.
Yeah.
That is the most difficult parking lot of the town.
Is this bar still open? Diggers. No, not Diggers. The one in the back. Yes.
Yeah.
Where the police were there.
Caraco?
Yeah. Are they closing down? Or are they still open?
Closed down and reopened this
That's a weakness.
It definitely
That
is,
place.
yeah, because there's always people loitering outside there.
Yes.
So loitering.
Loitering is a big weakness downtown, for sure.
Stubborn property
Lack of the town square. We need to have some open space.
I think the town square is nothing.
Yeah, lack of open space.
Or a misallocation of open space.
I don't know if you put this as a weakness, but I don't know why we don't have metered parking like Patchogue Village does.
We used to, but we took it away.
I think it's on its way back.
Is it on its way? Yeah.
But a different kind. They're not going to do the meters. They'll probably do the thing where you put a little ticket in the window.
Like a patchwork.
No
They
matter
have
how
now
you
the app.
do
You
it,
can do an app where you put your license plate number in.
well, then you could get parking because if you had metered parking, people wouldn't be there all day. Chances are people that work in those stores downtown, they're probably parking in those spots right in front of the building. And then that car sits there all day. So if you want to go get a cup of coffee, I'm just thinking, suppose you have off on a Wednesday.
Find a parking spot back there, but do you really want to walk through a bunch of vacant buildings to get to where you want to go? That's the issue.
No, I've gone down there lots of times.
Yeah,
It's been
vacant
full?
buildings. That's the big one.
When you want to go to
Yeah, we have across the street too. Both parking lots are full. Parabel.
Parabel. Yeah, I love it. By the parking space. I have to go all the way down to the other side. What?
Yeah, like I've never ever seen both parking lots.
I've never seen it.
Never.
Wow. That's not there anymore, where you're pointing to. That's some people.
They were thinking flooding.
Flooding.
Okay.
Is it
Flooding.
Yeah, that was it.
Downtown, it's got to be something that's so unique and something that Tanger doesn't have.
How about what's that?
Lack of a real plan that works for the downtown area.
Not really to come down. Well, that's what this is so important, because if you can make a theme, let's say, and it's beautiful and there's things to do and places to go, then that would revitalize it all right there for all. It would be fantastic.
Growing?
It's growing. It's growing because the school district is still growing.
It's the only one on the east end that is. The others are contracting in terms of the student
Because a lot of the stuff that we talk about are people who are day trippers. You know, they're coming in to go to the wineries. So, you know, I don't fault that or whatever, but
once the development of 58 began, everything that was in downtown was destroyed. And we continue to develop 58. And this, I think we'll be talking about this 10 years from now, because 58 has destroyed our town.
Well, it has to be. Well, we're just going to jump before threats then, because we're talking opportunity. That the idea there is that if you could really make this more of an experience, going to a big box store is like you have to go to get your whatever at Costco. You're not having some great experience there. But going downtown, you are. So it sets itself apart once we start putting the pieces together as an experience, and people are seeing people and, you know, visiting people and doing things there versus just, you know, and there's shopping that caters to this, or maybe, you know, personal service, your hairdresser, a florist, a yoga, whatever, instead of, you know, just, you know, the big box consumer mentality. Because really the future is more about, like, I can just sit on my couch and order what I need to get to me. But I want to go out and see people and do something, and that's what this hopefully will become.
Somewhere on the other side, not on the waterfront side, but on the north side of Main Street, a multi-level parking facility.
Absolutely.
You can have an alleyway and a passageway, and now you've got a place to park students for the college, park people for the theater, park people for all of these different businesses on Main Street, and it'll really make it different. Right. And it takes the pressure off the river, keeps vistas there, but that is an opportunity, and I don't understand why it still isn't.
So let's put
I say, so like, right here, they're building a new building.
Yes.
And they're building a lot of new buildings. But why can't they take that space and make like more like parks and like green grassy areas for like the families and the kids to play, not all this like gray space.
Opportunities.
Well, opportunities.
So we have parking garage.
We're on the last exit of Long Island Expressway without going on Route 27 or all of those other roads. We have tremendous accessibility.
They do the work behind these buildings as well. Maybe that could also be improved on that side.
More alleyways that we talked
Well, there's
about?
this, I think he's talking about that. There's an alleyway right here by the church. Is that the one you're referring to?
But it's not that nice.
Yeah, it's not.
If you
Improve
had
it.
Improved alleyways crossing 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had
the street beautification. I don't think it's down there.
As an opportunity? No, we could make that an opportunity as well.
Yeah, you could, the more street and alleyway beautification. So that would lead you to walking through town.
I'm just facilitator, but I'll make one observation, which is Patchogue has a commuter rail station.
Has a what?
Commuter rail station.
Yeah.
So
Patchogue did it with downtown housing. I mean, I was.
They did.
They did do housing downtown.
And it was across the street from the railroad.
But how did Greenport do that? Because when I was growing up in South Coast, Greenport. My mother, you're going out to Greenport State. Oh my God! Like you don't go there now. It's like, oh, let's go to Greenport. So
Because Greenport utilized its waterfront,
exactly,
which is what we have here.
it's got a lot of
And I think the one issue, and the one issue which I think might be a threat, if we want to just turn this, I don't think there's many threats, but the threat is the flooding. We have to.
The easy way to do that's what they did in the city, just put floodgates. It'll never happen, but you could shut it off if you wanted to.
I think the problem is 20 years from now.
20 years from now,
rising
this is
sea
all going to be
levels.
all underwater, so you might as well incorporate it now.
You could build the sun down here. It's going to be so warm. You can,
I think one of the
water
threats
could be up
is
to the building.
the materials that maybe is it the AR, whoever decides on what the materials of buildings are going to be.
Strengths, existing strengths.
green is strength.
Green or strength.
Where's my office?
Green or strength. Go with strength first.
I think it's down by you. Could you put a green spot on my office,
if you want to
please?
double dot it or triple dot it, that's okay. The concentration of green on one place.
Okay, they're all going to be.
So,
Papa Nick.
I'll put it on.
There you go. No, that is a strength, and nobody mentioned the educational institution.
How about Papa Nick's? I think that's it.
Yep.
That is a strength. It's an old time.
Yeah, it's right here.
Did you put this on Jerry's?
I like Papa Nick.
Right here,
Right there?
Love Jerry. Love Jerry.
Procedure here, we're going to have some repeat comments from table to table. If you hear something from a previous table and you just want to say, as we've heard before, or if you want to just reiterate something, you don't have to go through every item on your list. If it's been mentioned before, we're going to give the reporter's discretion, but you don't have to go through your whole list. So typically the first table has the longest list, and then we add on as we go around the room. You don't have to leave your seats. We're going to start over here with table 1, and we're going to go right in order.
My name is Fran Sabatino. I am a recent second home owner in Aquabog. I live right around the corner, and if all goes well, in 5 years, we'll be living here full time. This is my group here, and what I was most struck by was the diversity in the group. We have some people whose family have been here for 13 generations. We have other people who have chosen to come here to live here as second homes. We have young families moving in. So I think it was a really good, we have downtown residents and Wading River residents and Jamesport residents, so it was a really good group. So for the pluses, the river is a plus with water sports, etc. The walkability of downtown, the centrality of the location of Riverhead downtown between the two forks, the cultural amenities, the Library Historical Society, the theater, East End Arts Council, the aquarium, the Science Center, the restaurants, Preston House, etc., the Culinary Center, the breweries, distilleries. The people of Riverhead are a huge plus. The small town atmosphere, access to transportation, roads, railroads, etc., the school district, the very high quality medical center, the courthouse and the civic center, and the downtown activities, the cardboard boat race, the parades, the arts in the park, Alive on 25, the bonfire, the street mosaics, all of that. The religious communities that are in downtown Riverhead, and the thrift store. Shout out to workers there. So the challenges or the negatives, no supermarket. We want a Trader Joe's. I don't know if anyone else wants a Trader Joe's. Parking, the empty storefronts, the empty houses and the derelict houses on the, I guess that's the northern side, East End Avenue, Maple, etc. Some of the overcrowded housing over there, flooding. What we felt was an undeserved, but still a reputation that Riverhead has, that a slightly negative connotation. we talked about like a coherency in a plan, like a vision, and having the plan carry through from administration to administration to administration as the changes happen over the years. Too much focus on Route 58. Not enough just ordinary shopping downtown. A lack of a theme, sort of visual theme of how downtown should look in terms of architecture and design. Not enough open space. A lack of activities and attractions other than, the aquarium for families, like a playground downtown was a suggestion that was traffic. The overhead power lines, which someone suggested was a reason why there aren't as many trees downtown, is perhaps the lack of foot traffic and recreational amenities like an ice rink or a playground or something like that. Opportunities to make downtown a destination and an experience, to take advantage of the historic buildings, to develop the waterfront, and to get more train service out here. Threats. High rents, building ownership, and a lot of the vacant buildings downtown consolidated in the hands of one or two individuals. The flooding, density, the size. Everyone put our yellow dot on that big apartment building. Next to East End Arts. Every yellow dot is on that. I think we feel that that's really something we don't want to see. Seafield, what is? Oh yeah, homelessness and sort of, I don't know, vagrancy, I guess, is not really a PC term, but something like that. And a threat is Route 58. So those are the ideas from our groups. Thank you for listening.
Del Wallach, and I've been a resident of Riverhead now for 3 years. Been coming out here a long time, but permanently live here now for 3 years. So our group, which also is very diverse, and we had some very, very well-spoken and amazingly clever 10-year-olds contributing to our group. So for strengths, they've delineated a lot of it. We talked about the arts community also and the opportunity, churches, also the architectural and historical value of downtown, like all the community events and the new plantings that have gone in, restaurants, Vale Levitt, which is an amazingly historic restaurant. Also the work week population, people who come downtown, change the demographic and bring a different type of people downtown. The availability of docking along the waterfront, the beauty of downtown Riverhead, especially down along the waterfront, farmers market, and Grangeville Park. Those were all part of our positives. As far as weaknesses were concerned, also the parking and the flooding, new building, all the empty storefronts, and the safety perception that people have of downtown Riverhead when you walk around, especially at night. Lack of green space, parks, and so on. The traffic issues, lack of public transportation, and children's activities is also, and the dark alleyways, and a very large turnover in the businesses along Main Street, and litter and water pollution was also part of our weaknesses. And let's see if I can turn the page. Okay. Also the old abandoned buildings, landlords and slumlords, the high commercial rent, too many medical buildings, the racial tension, and the laundromat, which was also a hot spot. As far as opportunities, would be to be working with the Riverside community to make a parking garage, to have a community park, to develop a downtown square, possibly on East End Arts property would be a really good place for the town square. A dedicated community space on the inside, indoor space for families and anyone public. Using the rooftops as a green space, a outdoor performance space, and a transportation loop, which was a really brilliant idea to link together like Tango 58, downtown Riverhead, and around, so that would actually bring people to downtown on a bus, not in a car. So that was another opportunity, which I thought was really smart, and that was it. So those were our.
I live in Flanders, and I'm a business person in town, and I'm interested in what's going on. We found in this group that the strengths that we have are the riverfront, the restaurants, the aquarium, the theater, the hotels, the historic buildings that we have, the East End Arts in town, Grangeville Park, community garden, the culinary arts school, the courts, the culture, university, and the hub to the North and South Forks. We also have the Long Island Railroad. There's complaints that there's not enough trains, but we do have the Long Island Railroad. The threats of flooding, of course, and I can't read that word. Loitering. I can't read the next one. Bad PR. Reputation, that's true. You're from Riverhead? Ew. Lack of police, overcrowded adjacent houses. Our weaknesses are, again, lack of trains, pedestrian access to our business areas, traffic congestion, road access, in and out for parking, overall lighting in the downtown area, in the corridors, or the alleyways. The lighting, alleyways, yeah, loiterers again. Empty stoves. Empty stoves. Lack of little shops, like Port Jefferson, like a little mall with a bunch of smaller shops would be a real attraction. And again, no PR. Our opportunities. It is a great destination. We really do have a nice town. Extend the boardwalk. West to east. Water sports. River. Related activities. The nightlife. The restaurants. Train station. I don't know why I came up again. Vacant buildings. It's a real bummer.
But it's an opportunity.
That's an opportunity. That's correct. The town square. Small business opportunity. Is that everything?
Yeah.
That's everything. That's what we have.
Well, I'm an Aqua resident for the last 3 decades. And let's see, I'll start with the strengths. Number one is the Conic River. Like everyone else. The Supreme Court building, our historic resources, Grangeville Park, the aquarium, Suffolk Theater, great restaurants, the railroad, the community garden, parking and access to retail, breweries, Papa Nick's, our churches, the East End Arts, the Vale Theater, Bill Levitt, the culinary school. Someone said, keeping the historic charm. The Preston Hotel, Old and New, and Mrs. Dorosky's Rose Garden. So opportunities are, vacancies are places for expansion. We have, Jody suggested the Federal Opportunity Zone, which she knows more about and can speak to. And something about 16,000 lots.
No, for the IDA incentives that they're.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about IDA. Forget it. We'll skip that. Retail from 58 and moving some of that to downtown. Dark sky lighting and illumination downtown opportunities. And more events like Alive on 25. Green space and open space. Opportunities to bring in local business. We have opportunities with both our National Register historic districts. We have 2 downtown. the housing northeast of Main Street, which is in those districts, are more artisan shops, a regional market, and a parking garage to access Main Street. So our weaknesses are Riverview Lofts, it says here. Okay, Riverview Lofts. Parking number 1. Traffic. Blocking Peconic and Main Street. Not pedestrian friendly. Scale and massing of downtown buildings. The ability to regulate mass and height. 3 stories. Imagine 3 stories. Security and lighting. Courtyards. Alleyways. Lack of trees and green spaces. Social services. The jail, the county jail, and Riverside. Someone wrote here, the town of Southampton. Just a detail, but it says the town of Southampton.
This is the district.
Oh yeah, the school district.
The zoning.
Thank you. The school district, we're talking about school district in Southampton zoning. School district borderlines, police presence, Maple and Union houses overcrowded, parking, no 5 stories in downtown. And finally, homeless shelters and rehab. Now, let's see the threats. We have our flooding, number 1, traffic, pedestrian safety, drug-related activity, algae blooms. I don't know if anyone's considered algae blooms. And flooding in the parking lot and park. The impact of low-income housing and commercial viability of downtown. Bail reform came up. I think I'm bail reform. That was kind of a wild one, bail reform. That was something. State to require discovery in 14 days for VAs. The lack of financial reason to invest, overbearing regulation that stifles development, and tearing down trees in parking. And that's it.
Hello everyone, my name's Frank and I've been living in Aquabog with my family who's here with me for about 10 years now. And you know, it's amazing. I heard a lot of the same strengths going around when we went from table to table, but nobody mentioned Spicy's as a strength. I thought it was kind of funny because I know people that drive all the way from Bellport just to get some special spot sauce from Spicy's. But moving forward. So, I'm sorry, my daughter just wants to let you know her name. Now she's shy as Katie. So I won't go over all the strengths because I think we can all agree on what a lot of the strengths are. I mean, we have wide sidewalks downtown, which is great. You're not crowded when you're walking the streets. We have a lot of great restaurants. Okay, you gotta sit down there, please. So strengths, we have waterfront docking, the theater. Like I said, walkable sidewalks to cut through. I won't mention a lot of the things that were already mentioned. Very wisely mentioned was sewers, opportunity for development, the bid. Also, we have potential for pedestrian traffic, renovation of existing historical buildings, the dance school, which, believe it or not, draws a lot of people from downtown, from out of town. It has a very good reputation. The community garden and the farmers market. Oh, sure, thank you. So then, as far as weaknesses, I mean, we have the beautiful, riverfront, but you can't see it from Main Street. I know it's been brought up before, knocking down the Squeezy's building and creating some type of community garden. The conversation we had at our table was, comparing it to Greenport.
Yes.
Greenport has the carousel, and parents come from all around. You can shop, you can get a drink, you can go into all the stores, but there's not really a downtown draw right now for families to go to with people with kids to do. So also we have active gang activity, drug activity behind Main Street. A lot of the back of the buildings facing the river waterfront. Sanitation planning. I can't really read that. Oh, the Salvation Army bins out in the roadway, creating a block in traffic flow. If we can move those to another location, so we can get a better traffic flow going through that alleyway over there, that would help. So we also have parking, construction time, lack of lighting in parking lots. And also, I've heard forever comparing, everybody likes to use Patchogue as the example because now it's thriving. You have a great mixed use. Okay.
Let's be Greenport.
Okay, let's be Greenport. But, one of the things is, and multiple studies have shown this, where areas are more well lit, there is less crime and people feel safer. So we were talking about increasing the lighting both behind the parking lot where Diggers is and on the other side of the town where the riverfront is. Loitering, a big problem. I can say when my family goes downtown and we go to eat, we go to Parabel, we get in our car and we go home. There's not enough foot traffic in Riverhead. I think that's really one of the main keys that's missing, is for all businesses to thrive, you need foot traffic. Right now, when people go into Riverhead at night, I think a lot of people, they'll go out to eat, they walk directly to their car, they get in their car, they go home. They're not frequenting all the other businesses. So, lack of open space, which goes into the Village Green. State Road 25, as a town, there's not really much jurisdiction that the town actually has over a state roadway. So, that's a little bit of an issue itself. Policing. If we had more policing, maybe people wouldn't be so apt to get right back into their car at night. They go from Parabel, walk down the street, get ice cream, go get an Italian ice, and put more money into more of the local businesses. And then lack of sense of security. Obviously, if people feel secure, they're going to stay out longer. Opportunities. We talked about bringing back the riverboat. We have the beautiful Peconic River at our fingertips. We should be making more use of it. Bigger waterfront. Creative retail opportunities. We have a lot of art here in Riverhead. We have a lot of different cultural backgrounds. We should be, there's an opportunity here for cultural retail opportunities. Town Square, like we talked about again, being able to see the riverfront from Main Street. More attractions for children, like we already discussed. Relocation, consolidation of public services. We do have a lot of different public services that seem to be spread out all around Main Street. If we can consolidate those to one area, that's something definitely worth discussing. Improved alleyways beautification. People are walking through these alleyways to get to Main Street. If they're more inviting, maybe if we have more murals, if they're better lit, people will be more apt to walk through these alleyways to get to Main Street. And street beautification. So then threats. I think this was mentioned by just about everybody, flooding. The aesthetics of buildings. Once again, gangs and drug activity. And the last one we have is bureaucracy. Let's just get it done.
Hi, I'm Nancy McSwain. We live in Riverhead, and for 15, 20 years. And we didn't find out, other than I know Elise she lives in Riverhead, and she also has an office in Riverhead. And we have sweethearts here who unfortunately have had problems, and we've got to try and help that. So anyway, strengths. We all know the river is wonderful, the river walk. It's absolutely beautiful. Walkable Main Street. Buildings that are historic. It's so beautiful when we see the corner of Peconic and East Main Street. Tweeds and Dark Horse and Vale Levitt is such lovely architecture. Why not have that? The beautiful, what's the thing across that closes at 12 or something like that?
Oh, the net, Papa Nick.
Oh, yeah. Okay, And we know the theater in Vale Levitt. This is an old, old building. This was beautifully restored. The courts, the aquarium, the culinary schools, the hotels, bars and restaurants, which my husband is part of Tweeds. East End Arts. We didn't say the events, which I absolutely love the reflection and the bonfire one. And so anyway, housing downtown and access to transportation is what we miss. Is parking problems for seniors, very little green space, not enough police presence, vacant buildings, my favorite, absentee landlords, tendency for downtown historic environment to be ignored, like that building that was built. Need children-friendly businesses, and maybe if we could promote with like flags or something to bring people down to another place. Like the Peconic Ballet Theater is right in the middle, but what about the Science Theater, Science Museum? You know, bringing them down there somehow with flags or whatever. That's opportunity, sorry. Narrow sidewalks, derelicts walking around, need to beautify sidewalks, Roanoke, Peconic, Main Street intersection. We didn't have much time for threats. Out-of-town landlords, crime, alleyways, flooding. They're all pretty much, we're all in agreement, I think. But I think if we put gardens in the alleyways, that might be very lovely too. Opportunities, develop the Riverwalk, Town Square, Carousel, Jody Giglio mentioned breaking down Sweezy's and making that the town square. I think that's a fantastic idea. 3-story buildings, 1-bedroom studios. Someone said that they know a lot of 20 to 30 people that want to find a place to live. So if they had a 1-bedroom studio in that 3-story building, develop boat access, outdoor dining, and places to sit on sidewalk for the seniors. I think that's it, right? Yeah.
My name is Phyllis Cameron. I've been in Riverhead 16 years, and I have watched it grow. Not necessarily the way I wanted it to grow, but it is growing. And the assets, everybody agrees. The biggest asset we do have is our river. And this table agreed that the river needs to be worked on and improved on. We need open space, green space on the river. We need accessibility, bring back the paddle boat, bring back the attractions on the river, spaces for boats. And we had a lot of music events that were held down at the park and on the river and at the gazebo in Granville Park. And that part of our town is not as secure as it should be. With a little more security down there, we probably will be able to have more open space that's usable. There is open space, it's just not necessarily usable. We have great restaurants, we have beautiful buildings, and we all know them. I mean, even our churches are gorgeous. The streets are wide. It could be a beautiful walking town if we put some security and some thought into it. We all agree that Riverhead has attractions. The attractions like Alive on 25, all of the fairs we have during the summertime, the East End Arts Council's Chalk Festival, where they're drawing on the street and all this great draw for us. The streets are plenty wide enough to handle all of the vendors that come. It's a fun town. It was a fun town when I first moved here. We had Jazz Fest, we had all kinds of music events. And security and people not being controlled are what made us lose those events. And that's going to help. It's not going to help us in the future if we don't control and secure what we do have in the town. So we agree with a lot of the things. And one of the things we picked out was our proximity to the Hamptons. Well, that's a help. And it's a hindrance with traffic. but we are close by, and a lot of people use our hotels. We have beautiful hotels. And we can go from the hotels to our wineries and into the Hamptons if you want to. We have beaches. So, and of course, everybody agrees that Live 125 is a big draw. Now, our opportunities, our weaknesses. Our buildings are too tall. Too tall. We needed to regulate earlier than we're regulating now. But now we can definitely put a stop to it, and we should. The maintenance in some of the buildings that are there isn't good. Absentee landlords are a problem. The flooding is a problem. The parking around the river and all is a disaster and needs helping. We need to do some structured parking in the area, like parking garages, maybe to alleviate some of the parking problems that we have. We have an unsafe atmosphere. We need more security. The lighting is poor. The same things everybody else came up with, we're in agreement with. And I know that if these are fixed and these are attended to, we're going to have a really great town. It's right where it has to be. It's like the gateway to the Hamptons. It's the gateway. You can go north, you can go south, and we're in a perfect spot for all of it. Opportunities. Again, we said structured parking needs to be put in. We need more open space, more policemen on bicycles. We need to make the Riverwalk better. We need to secure our alleys. We need better lighting. We all agree, it seems on the same things. The aquarium is, it's like a captive place for people it draws people, so we should use it. Use it to expand around the aquarium. Maybe put our open space near the aquarium. Because the river is there, and next to it is, we have the Salvation Army store, but that whole area there could be opened up. Only they want to connect Main Street. Connect Main Street to the river? Is that what you said? Yeah. What? Want to connect Main Street to the river. That's the alleyways as far as I could see. And they're going to have to be expanded or lit up so we can go back and forth. And direct people off of 58 down to the area along Main Street so that they know it's there. And they'll come and they'll maybe visit and do something. We have to get good stores, draw people down there to open up some more artsy shops and expand our paddle boating. And our river is beautiful. And when we have our events, our cardboard races, the paddle boat races that we have in the beginning of the summertime, that park is packed. And it's so, so beautiful to see all the people using it, and that's what we have to continue to do. We have to keep bringing these opportunities down there so we have more and more people using our space. And we have the same threats again. Flooding, closing of businesses downtown for months because of the flooding we had. We had a hair salon that actually moved to the other side of Main Street to get away from the flooding that happens all the time. And the safety at night really has to be addressed. And the homes on the periphery, I pass by them myself all the time. Cars parked everywhere, garbage on the porches. All of these things really need to be addressed. Code enforcement, the amount of people living in the buildings so we don't have an excess of cars and stuff everywhere. And I think we have a real gem of the town. It has to really be polished up. And then it will definitely shine. So we have to give it a go. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name's Greg, and my table decided I should speak, being I haven't been in the news media recently. We pretty much are all on the same page with the other 7 tables. One pretty cool thing that made up our table is we had a few people that live downtown. We had some business owners. We had some lifelong residents. So we really had some great talks about a lot of things. So I'm not going to touch on everything, but being they did ask me to speak, the number one strength that we have in Riverhead is our school district. Thanks for laughing. I appreciate that. But there's a few things here that we didn't hear. So I'll just throw this in. One of our strengths, along with an opportunity, is we are the county seat of the county of Suffolk. And it always seems like we get the short end of the stick that way. So I believe that that's a strength and a opportunity that we have listed. A few of the other weaknesses that we had. I think we all agreed on the lighting is a huge thing, so I felt that was important to bring up again, along with parking. There's also another thing too that we threw in there, and it's kind of been touched on, was the planning process, the permitting process, the zoning process, so that we don't have, and we've heard it before, that big ugly building that I don't think anybody in this room right here really appreciates. So I think it's important to help to fix that problem. We talked about our threats were pretty much all the same. The flooding, Tanger, safety protection, gangs and crime. Opportunities, we pretty much had the same thing too with the vacant buildings, vacant storefronts, the waterfront, development, small business involvement, recreating the historic character, opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, and threats. Parking fell under all of those. If I can just, that's pretty much our page wrapped up with everybody else's. I think there's just one thing I really kind of want to say is, I hear a lot of people talking like, oh, we need this to attract the people in, we need that to get the people in. And I think until all of us in here can start using what's downtown as residents, we can't expect people from out of town to come in if we're not using it. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents, and that's what I'm allowed to do.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for coming this evening. We heard a lot of consistency between the groups, which sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. That's a good thing. We're going to ask you to please leave the maps and your notes and any sticky notes you wrote us on the table, because this is very important that we document everything that we heard, but also that you wrote down tonight. So as we said, the next step in the process is we're going to let everybody go home because it's late. But we'll go back, and Rebecca and Patrick and I will work on documenting everything that we've heard in the listening step. And watch for advertisements for the survey that's going to come out and the next community meeting, where you'll get to have additional input also, but react to emerging recommendations. So thank you again all very much for coming tonight. We appreciate your time.